What's up, Internet? Cory Zamier here, collecting with Cory. We're back. Alright guys, what I have to show you today is actually a very disorganized office/game room. Some games that I picked up yesterday from a offer-up deal, and a lot of stuff, mostly video game magazines from the early 90s, mid-90s, from my friend Ted, via his friend Jeff. And a few systems there too. So, let's take a look. Alright guys, I have now disassembled the majority of this first box. This first of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes of stuff. Probably about 400 pounds worth of stuff, mostly magazines. And I'm going to run through these pretty quick because I know my habits, and if I have like a 50-minute video to edit, it's probably not going to get done. But some of the stuff that was in there, a lot of like random old stuff like EGM2 Official Fighter's Guide, 1995. The Game Pro Strategy Guide. Some Mortal Kombat 2 official magazines, 3 and 4 of the set. Stack stuff back here. Got a couple of VHS tapes, how to score more points on Nintendo games. I would go through the games, but like I said, I'm trying to get through this pretty quick. How to win at Nintendo games, how to win at Nintendo Games 3, how to win at Nintendo Games 3, how to win at Game Boy games, how to win at Nintendo Games 2, how to win at Nintendo Sports games, and how to win at Nintendo Games 4. Is that the whole set? Plus a little bit more. A couple of old posters, which once I figure out this room completely, I might actually have some room for. We got Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, a Nintendo Players Mapping and Data Book, which it's just for like game passwords, and if you wanted to make your own map, has like a grid system that you could draw on. That's actually kind of cool. There are some codes in there, so it's probably has no value because of that. A Phantasy Star 3 hint book, so the larger one. I believe I also have a smaller one that came with the game. That might be a keep. This is just a box only for the Nintendo Nintendo DS original that came with Mario Kart. It has the inserts, it has the extra, I think it has an extra stylus, it has the Mario Kart DS chain type thing, whatever it's called, lanyard. A box only for Top Secret Episode, Golgo 13. A couple of DS games that were just kind of throw-ins. This one I've never seen before. This is the lime green Nintendo DS Lite. It's in there. It's in really good shape. Has the charger. It does not have the outer box. That's why it looks like this. This is the box that came in. I guess there was a slip cover that went over this, and I can't get it out. But we're trying to run through. Imagine I'm holding a DS Lite that is lime green color or kiwi color or whatever it is. No, I can't even get this closed. This is my life now. Ted, how the fuck does this go in there? I'm just gonna put it over here. I have nowhere good to put it. My room is a fucking mess. This game Ted actually got from Savers a couple days ago. Caught me slipping, I guess, but I haven't been out thrifting in a little bit. Champions of Norath, or Champions Return to Arms, complete, goes for about $30, maybe more. Also in that deal, got a Miss Pac-Man, TV plug and play. What to go to next? I'm just creating, because I'm making a video, I'm creating this huge mess for myself that I'm going to regret later. We have the Complete Ultima 7 in a box that is falling apart, but it looks like we have the discs in there, so that's pretty cool. Don't know if that's worth anything in particular. Ages of Empires 2 Gold Edition. Played this a decent amount. Way back in the day at a hospital that we had to go to a lot for my grandmother. Never seen this version of the box. This is Diablo, the bestseller series. That's pretty cool. The Nintendo Player's Guide Game NES Game Atlas. So it looks like just a playthrough with a lot of maps. Consumer's Guide of Hot Tips for Nintendo, and Consumer's Guide of Winning Tips for Nintendo, and a book called Video Game Quest, and Atari Flashback 3, a Sega Dreamcast keyboard, which is unfortunately missing a control key. I don't know how important that is, but I'll end up listing it up anyway, because I have no use for it. I don't have Typing in the Dead. And I don't think I would need control to play Typing in the Dead, so that's probably not that bad. An empty box for a Sega Dreamcast. This was actually the launch edition. I have the black box one back there for my collection. I'm not sure which one I'd keep. I'm not going to keep both. I don't have the kind of shelf space anymore. But this one specifically, because we found the receipt with it that was returned to the original owner, Jeff, and this was picked up on $99.99 at the KB Toy Works that I used to work at, well before I worked at it, back when my mother still worked there, probably. Oh, damaged that box a little bit, probably. So that's pretty cool. And the last thing I have for this segment of the video, because I gotta move all this shit around and get another box out, StarCraft, the Battle Chest. Never played this, but we'll probably sell it. Alright guys, up next we have a couple more systems from that trade. We have a Sega Genesis Model 1, missing the expansion cover for the Sega CD. Pretty good shape other than that. Not the high definition graphics model, I guess. I can mention that. I don't know if that's a big deal. We got an extra large Metroid Prime shirt, probably some sort of GameStop deal, although it says Timberland, Colorado Performance. I don't know. Pretty cool. Definitely not my size. Never has been. So that'll be for sale. Couple of Super Nintendo consoles. This one's actually really minty fresh. Just have to test it out. And one that has the yellow discoloration. Both of them look to be in good shape. Other than that, this one has a little chip on the back. So I'll test those out today, most likely. Figure out what I'm going to do with them. Now, this one's interesting because I might keep this for a few reasons. This is Ted's original Xbox, and not only is the box in, like, pristine condition, better than I've ever seen, it's also modded. And I don't know if I've really talked about modded systems in the past. I've never been completely against them. I just genuinely don't trust most people that would mod a system to mod my systems. But this one was modded by Ted, I guess, back in the day, or he had it modded by someone who knew how to. I don't know if he did or what. But he said it works great, could emulate games mostly up to the N64 era, and then it gets choppy or something like that. But I'll try it out. I mean, I don't have a really nice box for a Xbox system, so I'll definitely want to keep it for that. Along with this deal, there were two other Xbox systems which is weird because when you pick up an Xbox system, you're usually thinking like, oh my god, that's so heavy. But when you just lifted like 100-pound boxes of magazines, it's weird that the box that has 2 Xbox systems is just like really light work. But we got 2 Xbox systems, seem to be in pretty good shape. He was able to test them as far as like turning on and the disc tray opening, but he didn't have any Xbox games to test them out with. Came with one big Duke controller, the Xbox S controller, and the Xbox S Blue controller, as well as another Xbox S controller. Thought there was only 3, but then we also have some AV cords for Nintendo systems. Always useful to have. My AC adapter that I let him borrow when he was going to test the Super Nintendo systems, but he never had a game. A couple of controllers for the Super Nintendo. One of them yellow to match the yellow system, I guess. Xbox AV and the power cord. And this thing I've never seen, but Ted says it's kind of a big deal. This is, I hope it has its fucking name on here. Alright, the Xbox High Definition AV Pack. It says it goes for like 30 plus, I think, on eBay, so I've never seen it or heard of it. And I guess the last thing I can show you is actually that OfferUp deal. And this is, actually, one of the games is up here already. Not an important game, that's why it's up there. But this OfferUp deal popped up literally right after I loaded these 400 pounds of magazines and everything into my game room. And it popped up, and I was looking at it. It had only been up for about 13 minutes, and I messaged the guy immediately for his asking price because of one game that was in there. The other games aren't no slouch. Ain't no slouch? Ain't isn't a word. I don't even know how to format that sentence, but we got Wheel of Fortune Deluxe Edition with a really bad label. Donkey Kong Country needs some cleaning up. The Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. That was one we played a lot as a kid. Dr. Mario, or Tetris and Dr. Mario. Mickey Mania. And the best game in the lot, and the reason it was worth it for $50, Sonic Blast Man 2. With a pretty good label, has one small nick up here. I fortunately was able to talk to the guy for a little bit, and he does have some Sega Genesis stuff he's going to be listing soon, and he should be calling me. He's kind of older, so he's going to call me when he lists it so I can take a look at it rather than just like texting it to me or whatever. But based on the quality of these games and, you know, the potential of having like a really good hidden gem kind of game, expensive Sega Genesis game, I'm really anxious to see that get listed or what he actually calls me about it. The awkward thing about that whole interaction was the first thing he asked me when I got there was which game I was excited about, like which game, you know, did I really want out of there. And I didn't want to say Sonic Blast Man 2 because he looks it up and then he gets the feel bads. So I said Mario, and then immediately I was just like scrambling, like, oh my god, is there a Mario game in there? Oh, technically there is, Dr. Mario and Tetris or whatever. It's just like a really weird situation where I almost got like caught out trying to get the, $80 game for $50 plus some others. But I'm going to cut right here, and we're going to take a look at all the magazines that we got. All right, let's take a look at some of these magazines. One of the big reasons I wanted these magazines is the sheer amount of Nintendo powers in here. And he does have some early issues, starting at the track and field issue, which I believe is issue 4. No way for me to know. It doesn't say. I think that's what we discovered, was that it was issue 4. Ninja Gaiden. The Turtles issue. Mega Man 2. Some of them with less integrity of their covers. DuckTales. Super C. some Nintendo player guides. So goes on for this entire box once we start getting into the 64 era. And then these magazines over here, more Nintendo power, but we're looking at Sonic Adventure 2 Blast, so you can kind of see like the era of everything down here. And to be honest, we had this in much better order, because I know there's more Nintendo power somewhere here. Like the end, yeah, not here. But when I brought everything in, everything got really disorganized, of course, because that's how I do things. Oh, here we go. That's not that bad. More Nintendo powers here. Nintendo Power Advance. Some strategy guides. This one's one to look out for. I've actually sold this one before. It's the Street Fighter Alpha 3, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and Mega Man Zero. It's like a Game Boy Advance strategy guide, a 3-pack for Capcom, which is really cool. Final Fantasy Tactics. I know the non-greatest hits version of this guide always has binding issues, so maybe I'll keep that one. Some Mega Man Network Transmission, Devil May Cry, Yoshi's Island for the Game Boy Advance, Contra, Shattered Soldier. Then you get into like random video game magazines, like Video Games, the Ultimate Gaming Magazine with Toy Story on the cover. Who's ever heard of that? An Xbox Game Magazine, Insight, some Insight magazines, Game Buyers. My personal favorite, I'm gonna take a look at these, Game Fan. Does anybody remember Game Fan? This was probably my second favorite video game magazine back in the day, right next to PSM. This was the one I always went for in the stores. I always just thought they had really cool covers. I really liked their coverage of games back then. Guardian Heroes. What else do we got? Revolution, Play, official PlayStation magazine, Next Gen. Alright, let's move over here. We go back to the 90s. We got some 1992 Video Game Buyer's Guide. And then this is, I think, the start of the EGMs. Maybe this is like halfway through. So like the other half of these were EGMs, basically. Oh, cool. Hyperstone Heist on the cover there. Look at the thickness of some of these magazines, man. There's like some in here that are like as thick as, yeah, right here. Look at these. These are as thick as like 6 current day magazines for video games. It's ridiculous. Sonic the Hedgehog CD, Eternal Champions. And it just goes on further with EGM, and I'm on my knees here, so I'm gonna get up because this is fucking painful. We're gonna move over here. We got more EGM magazines. Then it switches over to some Game Informers. Let's see how early these are. Alright, so what was this, like PS2 era Game Informer, Turok Evolution, Jesus Christ. Over here, I guess it switches, yeah, more EGMs. Like I said, this is really disorganized the way I'm filming this, but at least I'm filming something, right? Now we have some Game Pros. This was another one of the magazines that I never actually had. So listen to the cover. I never actually had a subscription for Game Pro. This was just the one because I was a spoiled kid, as we all know. And I always liked not having a subscription to like at least one magazine, so at least at the stores when I saw it, I can go pick it up. Because if you knew it was coming to you and it came out on the shelves earlier, it was annoying knowing you had it and you had to wait for it. So it was nice having one, and Game Pro is that one that I just never asked for a subscription for. I had like pretty much everything else, like official PlayStation magazine, PSM. I had Nintendo Power for a little while, even though I don't think at the time I had the systems that were relevant for it because, you know, I didn't have an N64 growing up. Ultra Game Players, a bunch of those. Ultra Game Players, Game Players. Tips and Tricks, another good one. Mostly just codes and stuff in that magazine from what I remember. Alright, and that is going to do it for this video. I spent $50 on the offer-up deal with the Sonic Blast Man, and I think I spent $320 for everything else that I got, so I think I did pretty good. It's going to keep me busy for a while, so I don't have to hit the thrift stores, which is nice since we just had our first snow of the year, and I'd prefer not to be out and about in it all the time. So, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, keep it real, Internet. I love you guys.